Life doesn't stop when you aren't feeling well. You simply must keep going. It just might look a little different. The emotions that roll in when you first see that positive pregnancy test can be varied. Some excitement, fear, joy, overwhelm, bliss, but inevitably, for those of us who experience morning sickness, there is a good bit of panic that starts to take over. I always know that I have about 1 week, maybe 2 max, to go before my hormones take over and I start to feel like the living dead. You have to go into this first trimester with some sort of strategy, or you will soon find yourself swimming in dirty laundry, dishes piled, meals uncooked, and dust bunnies that take over. It's amazing how there is a complete 180 to go from motivated, driven, and passionate about life to lacking the gumption to drag your exhausted body over the edge of your bed because you simply have to get up. That nausea kicks in full force, and everything that you smell sets you off in a gagging fit. You have a good day if you haven't hurled at least once. Sometimes you just want to curl into a ball and hide in a dark hole for the remainder of the first trimester. It is just a bit overwhelming. I struggle with the guilt that I'm lacking as a mom, a wife, a homemaker. I begin to feel like I'm failing at everything at this point. And we order food to go way too much this first trimester. But I do recognize that this is only for a short season. One thing I have done differently this pregnancy, it only took me this many pregnancies to realize this, it's to cherish these slower moments and not to feel guilty for napping with my little kids or snuggling on the couch or turning off my morning alarm clock. I'm the type of person to wake up at 4 a.m. And so for me to shut that alarm clock off and wake up when the sun rises, that was a little challenging, to be honest. I felt like I was not taking advantage of wonderful hours in my morning before the kids woke up, but I had to give that up. I definitely needed more sleep. Different seasons in life allow for different flows and schedules. Our bodies, our human bodies, are not machines. We cannot just keep going without being sensitive to our bodies and our family's needs. With this pregnancy, my main goal was to focus on getting past the point where I miscarry. I just had to break it down into baby steps, little small increments of time. Once I got past that point at the 9-week mark, I then felt comfortable planning ahead to about, I'd say the 14-week mark. That's when I knew that my morning sickness would start to subside. So once I got past my miscarriage window and I knew with certainty that this baby was going to make it, I then started planning out the farm and homestead timeline. I know I needed to have animals bred in time so they all birthed well in advance of my birth. I knew I needed to line butcher dates up beforehand as well. One slightly more complicated decision was that of what to do about Thanksgiving turkeys. Because at the beginning of the year, I placed an order for 100 turkeys with the intention to market hard and hustle to sell them. But with me being due at the beginning of October, I knew I did not want to deal with that kind of pressure so close to having a baby. So Chris and I tossed it around a good bit and kind of tried to decide what we wanted to do, how we would proceed with this. And we decided that I was going to raise 60 turkeys instead, which doesn't seem like it's much less, but it is, because I broke it down. 30 of the turkeys would stay whole for Thanksgiving, and then the other 30 would be processed into parts and sausages. So this took the pressure off of me to have to sell them in time for the holidays. The parts and the sausages, they would be a year-long product that I could sell in my store. All my other animals are on the schedule to be processed with plenty of time to spare before the baby. Piglets will be born a few months ahead as well. So really everything should be like at a good place. I just rely on my family a good bit to help me take care of everything, like the daily feeding and the watering, moving the animals, milking the cow. That's just going to be for a short period of time, though, right after I deliver, that postpartum period of time. That's the plan, hopefully. So now back to morning sickness. I have been really sick for each of my pregnancies, even the ones that I miscarried. And people would say, "Oh, you're sick. That's a great sign." Oh, unfortunately, no. I was very, very sick. So I've had the opportunity, though, to try out a few different methods to try and help decrease this dreaded sickness. And here are a few tips. However, I must let you know right off the bat that sometimes morning sickness can get so bad that nothing helps, and you just have to push through it and remind yourself that it won't last forever. One thing that has been very helpful for me in getting through this morning sickness has been getting up in the morning, getting clothes on, getting outside. Now, the first couple weeks, the first month of this, it's been really cold, and I've been really cold, so getting bundled up to go outside was a little bit rough. But I have a beautiful day today. Yesterday was a beautiful day. Tomorrow's a beautiful day. And I'm telling you, I feel 50 to 75% better just getting outside, walking around. I walked out and did the chickens, walked out, let the animals loose, and I basically got outside, spent extra time walking around. I got out in the garden, and I don't know, it just has helped tremendously. Maybe getting out from my house, because my house has all the smells of, you know, everything that's going on, the kitchen, the dishwasher, the laundry. Maybe just getting some fresh air has been good, but that is one goal of mine the next couple weeks that I'm going to be dealing with the rest of this morning sickness, is to get outside and to try and walk, get some fresh air, get some movement, because I feel a whole lot better right now than I did yesterday morning. I find that sour and tart things help me a lot. Lemonade, lemon drops, fruits like apples, citruses. I love grapefruits. Peaches, watermelons, any raspberries, like kind of tart and juicy fruits. I also love cold fruit smoothies. However, protein smoothies had to take a break. I don't know if it was the raw eggs and the protein powder, if that just, it just sounded repulsive to me. So I could not do the protein smoothies. It was just yogurt and fruit, and I could put some raw milk in there, but that was about it. Another weird thing that I noticed is that greasy bar foods, for some reason, seem to help. Now, thinking about those foods made me want to barf, but for some reason, if I just ate it and didn't think about it much, it actually seemed to settle my stomach. I don't know. It's just something that we realized. I kept saying, you know, after I ate certain foods, Chris was like, you know, I think that greasy bar foods help you feel better. Go figure. I usually have a deep aversion to proteins of all kinds, but it seemed that when I was able to stomach them, I felt much better for a while. Crazy enough, there were actually a couple times that I craved steak. The salty, juicy, like filet mignon. Oh, man. Those are really good. Another thing that I ate a lot of were yogurt parfaits. I would do the yogurt and the granola and the fruit. That helped as well. I can't really say that vegetables sounded appetizing at all. Like a nice cold salad would be good, but because we kind of eat seasonally, during this period in my pregnancy, salads are not in season. Now during the summer, yeah, I'll definitely be eating salads. I could probably do vegetables like cucumbers, maybe tomatoes. Peppers are absolutely a no-go. Bell peppers, no. Just, ugh, I don't know why. It's so weird. Weird and random. Another thing that helped though, cereal, dried boxed cereal. And we never eat cereal, but that, oh, talk about good. cold milk and cereal, it always hit the spot and helped settle my stomach. I also really enjoyed breads, although butter was a no-go. However, I did eat, I think it was like a half a loaf. It might have even been more than half a loaf of sourdough bread in one day. It was so good that first day, but it ruined it. I couldn't even smell, like I couldn't stand the smell of sourdough bread after I ate that half a loaf. And the girls would toast it all the time because they were in love with it. And because the kitchen is right below our bedroom, the smells of that toasted sourdough would just spiral up the stairs into my bedroom. Oh, it was so bad. So be careful when you binge on something, because the next day it might actually make you sick. And this happened to me a couple times. Cheeses, I would eat grilled cheeses, and man, not after that. So the tricky part, however, with eating is that you cannot allow your stomach to get empty, because the more empty it becomes, the more nauseous you become. And then the more nauseous you are, the less you want to eat. It's just a vicious cycle. However, don't eat too much, because you'll be sick from eating too much. So it's just that perfect spot, which is very difficult. Another thing that helps is distraction. Keep busy if you can. I know that all your motivation is just gone, but if you can get outside and take walks, that was a huge help for me. The fresh air does wonders. Going back to eating, if you can eat small bites, don't allow yourself to go hungry, keep hydrated. Kind of those are the pretty common recommendations. Another thing I tried during this pregnancy was taking magnesium. So I would take magnesium in the form of electrolytes in my water, and then I also had magnesium spray. I just heard about this right before I got pregnant, and of course I kind of dismissed it because I was like, well, I'm not getting pregnant again, so, but if anybody ever asks, I'll know for the future. Well, so I did try magnesium this time around. I don't really know if it helped, to be perfectly honest. I definitely can say that there were moments of reprieve with my nausea, but I don't know if it was just because it was a different pregnancy or if it actually did help. I will say, though, I would do it again, because if the magnesium could be associated with any of those moments of feeling better, it was absolutely worth it. So the other thing is ginger. I had a ton of ginger lozenges with my last pregnancy. I was sucking on the ginger lozenges around the clock. It absolutely helped me feel better. However, this time around, geez, you just say the word ginger and I wanted to gag. I wouldn't even go near it. I didn't even want to touch it. I didn't even want to look at the pouch. I couldn't handle the idea of ginger. So that was out. Another thing that did help me this time around was sipping on warm tea. Now, because coffee was repulsive, I would have sleepy time tea. I don't know if it's just because it's a very mild, soothing tea. Black tea was not as appealing as the sleepy time tea. The sleepy time tea also has that little bit of a mint, so maybe that kind of helped. Wasn't too overpowering though. So sipping on that, I think just because you were constantly consuming something slowly, that helped me not be quite so sick. Let's see. Another thing that you should really consider is getting help in any area that you can. Now, I know I don't like asking for help at all, but please don't feel bad if you do. There really isn't anything like the feeling you have when you're struggling to get through these first few months. So take care of yourself. And if that means asking for help, do it. Have grace. Have grace with yourself. And remember that in another season in the future, you will be in a better place to handle those tasks. So I know there are a lot of ideas here. Hopefully some of them will work. And I honestly would love to get any feedback if there are things that I did not mention that you found were particularly helpful. Please comment below. It would be great to hear what other people have found to be helpful. And if you are in the middle of the first trimester and morning sickness, hang in there. For most people, it gets better by week 13, 14. And I'll tell you what, At that mark, you go from feeling like trash to within a couple days feeling fantastic. And be prepared, because that second trimester is going to be the highlight of your pregnancy. And every time I'm in my second trimester, I'm like, I feel so good. I could be pregnant forever. You have such a high from going from feeling so tired and so sick to all of a sudden feeling wonderful. So it's the light is at the end of the tunnel. It won't be this way for long. Now, I do know there are some people, oh my goodness, that go through morning sickness and nausea their entire pregnancy. I absolutely could not imagine going through that. So if you do experience that, any advice that you can share with people would be really great. Now, like I said, life doesn't stop just because you're not feeling well. And one of the best ways to keep yourself feeling better is distraction. So we're keeping busy, have lots to do around the farm. So here is me doing just that. All right, this poultry netting is now up. So we've got the hay wagon, which is going to be the shelter. We've got the netting, which will be electrified. That'll keep the chickens in, the predators out. I am going to be putting our Great Pyrenees Waylon up here with them, so he can keep any hawks or owls away. So the girls are going to help me now. They want to be playing instead. They're going to help me get hooked up to the livestock trailer and load all the birds up into the trailer, and then we're going to bring them on up. All right, we have my sweet helpers help me get 130 chickens in the trailer, right? No. Shay was on door duty. Gemma was helping me get them from all the cracks and crevices. So where are we headed now, guys? Out to the field, right? We're gonna back this trailer up and try and shoo them out because we don't really want to have to handle all 138 again. All right, here we go. Ready? No. Okay. So the cows think that we are bringing a friend for them, which we're not. No friends for you today. Only chickens. So, oh my goodness. We're gonna, Gemma, you know what I didn't think? All these chickens, they are not gonna jump down this ledge. So we're gonna have to hand pick them all back up and place them out. So now all the chickens are moved up. We got Waylon, our Great Pyrenees. Hey baby, don't touch his fence, good boy. We got him moved up here. So he is going to keep the predators out of this area. So this electric netting has been the best investment. We've had it for about 14 years now. And every time I try and raise birds without electric netting and do something a little bit more like hard wire, woven wire, hardware cloth, animals will always break into it. I've tried the Salatin style, essentially that same concept, and they bury underneath of it and burrow underneath of it and get my birds every time. So easy. So, no, okay, that was not good. All right, so we found a weak link. Anyway, so he will keep the predators from getting to them. So now I'm gonna have birds that I'm gonna have to chase before dusk. Oh well, at least I now know where the holes are. Oh my gosh. So he'll settle in here. He's used to being at the barn, so it'll take him a day or two to just kind of get comfortable being in this setting. But good boy way. So
Woke up a little earlier today. Decided I was gonna go out into our little office building to lift some weights. And as I'm getting ready, I hear a little pitter patter. Look at me. So, and then I also had a dream last night that the fencing wasn't working, the cows got out, all of the chickens, and we had turkeys in my dream, that it was kind of a little bit of a chaotic mess. And so I decided, well, you know what, maybe I'll go for a walk. So I am out in the field. Shay and I are gonna go check on the broilers that we just moved out there and make sure that they are all alive and that there's no owl attacks, and make sure poor little sweet Waylon survived the night okay. Doing our beautiful morning rounds, and it is gorgeous this morning. Simply gorgeous. Shay is in a jacket, but I am just in my cotton PJs, and it is just lovely. Definitely time for an early morning walk, tea time weather, before the rain comes. Waylon did an amazing job last night. Good boy. He is so good with these birds. Good boy, Waylon. Marge, on the other hand, would have way too much fun playing. So they are about a year apart. So he is going on 3 this spring. Yeah, so he's 3. So I think that little bird that he's sniffing right now died. So I'm very, very proud of him for not picking it up and eating it. And it just died because of, it was not looking well. But anyway, back to Waylon. He is doing so good. You can tell he's restless. He's not used to being up here. And he hears that electric fence going. Good boy, Way Way. So he'll settle in, but he's doing such a good job. And all the birds made it last night. No, no. So I'm gonna have to jump in and grab that before he does, because we do not want you chewing on birds. Careful, careful. Yeah, you can see he's nervous. He hears the electric, but he's not sure. Like, he's kind of testing his boundaries to see like how far he can go. You know, he doesn't want to get shocked. I don't blame him. It snaps. Anyway, last night was a success. Yay. It's always extremely stressful when you move animals around like this, because it takes them a little while to get acclimated to their new environment. And I always feel like we run into issues one time or another. Mr. Monkey came with us. Right, Kiki? All right. We're gonna head back down to the house soon.
Mommy, this is a boy or girl?
That's a boy. All right. Let's go. The pigs have the trailer to now get used to, and hopefully they will load themselves up into the trailer tonight. Wouldn't that be amazing? And then tomorrow morning, when I need to go take them to the processor, they will already be there. It's all up here. Here, pig, pig, pig. So me and 2 of my little ones are off to take the pigs to the butcher today.
Got 2 wiggly teeth.
And Gideon's got 2 wiggly teeth.
And one is coming out.
And one's coming out. And one's coming out. So I am super excited.
And it is out.
Oh, it is out. Ooh, it's close. It's hanging on by a thread. So I'm super excited to be taking these pigs to this particular butcher shop, because they produce nitrate-free, sugar-free products. I did not sign up for the sugar-free products because I don't have a market for that yet, but knowing that there is that option, I'm super excited about that. And they sell very clean products, so the sausages, you know, have nothing wonky in them. I don't want flavorings and like anything that's not clean, because I raise my animals very, very well. And the last thing that you want is, you know, grass-fed, rotationally grazed, blah, 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 and then have like nitrates and MSGs and, you know, any sort of like not so great stuff in your products. So I'm really excited to be taking them to this butcher, and I'm excited to try some of the sausages I've never had before and be able to offer them to our community. I have a campground that is about a quarter of a mile from my farm, and so being able to market to the campers and provide things like hamburgers, hamburger patties, hot dogs, sausages that can be cooked on the grill, boneless pork chops, boneless ham steaks, all sorts of grill appropriate foods that do not require prep and do not require, cutting on the bone and stuff like that. I'm going to be working on marketing towards them this year and see if I can't provide them with good quality foods while they're camping. So anyway, we've got an hour and 15-minute drive ahead. I've got my 2 little ones with me, and I am so happy those pigs loaded up smoothly on the trailer last night. So after we dropped off the pigs at the butcher shop, we came home, loaded up Moto and Gloria, and brought them out to this pasture. And then I will be moving the fencing for the pigs soon, so they will have new fresh area to go on. Easy with her, please. Hey, Marge.